and welcome to my channel, Playing with Curious Sunshine. My name is Sarah, and here we talk all about play. Honestly, it's just like my musings and philosophizing around play. So talking about what play means, what it means to have a playful mindset, and how playful living can help us amplify the great parts of our lives and also kind of get out of maybe the stickier situations that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. So if you're loving what I'm putting down, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think would find inspiration for what I have to say. Yeah, so it's me just pretty much me just yapping to anyone who can find any kind of inspiration or any good high vibing feelings from this. So yeah, let's get it going. So this will be video 3 of part 3 of the Playing While Black video series to really just kind of celebrate Black History Month and really talk about these important aspects of playing while Black, why it's important for us to do, why our Black joy is important, and why it is important for us to bring more play into our day-to-day life. So video 1, part 1, I talked about just why I care, why I am the play alchemist, and why I, made it like my life's journey, life's path to really emphasize being playful and living playfully, and how my Blackness is a big part of that, and how play and race, unfortunately, have an effect on one another. And then part 2, I talked about how play can help us really reprogram our intergenerational DNA, make it a little, woo-woo, I guess, with it. Talking about timelines and playing and using play to help change the frequency of the past, present, and future if you believe they all exist at the same time. And so this video, we're going to talk about playing while Black and how that can be dangerous if we're not playing in boxes that are deemed appropriate for us. So yeah, let's do it. So I have my notes here because we've been doing pretty good keeping them under 20 minutes. So let's keep up the vibe and keeping them short and sweet, like little bite-sized content. Okay, so I think we all, especially if you are part of the Black community watching this, I'm sure you're very aware of the stereotypes that are placed on us for what is appropriate for us to be in regards of like what we do. Even how we spend our free time is even policed. And I'm thinking about like sports. Like, oh, Black people, we're athletic, we're automatically good at sports, which I'm like, I'm not the most athletic, but that's neither here nor there. But it's like, cool, it's good, it's cool if a Black person is good at playing basketball, but it's maybe not so cool, or maybe it raises a few eyebrows if a Black person is good at skiing, at snowboarding, at ice skating, anything where it's like, why are you here? And I think that's why there are these spaces where it's like Black specific events in these non-Black spaces, because there was like I just saw something recent about a Black ski event, right, where it's like all the Black people come together, because it's so much more calming to our nervous system to be around one another in predominantly white spaces. But you notice you don't see like a all Black basketball night. So just, as I go through these videos and talk, like, take these with a grain of sand or not. I'm just philosophizing, and if you want to philosophize too, that's why I'm here, just providing nuggets of us to chew on, gnaw, and think about. And so I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny where it's like, oh, it's okay if I'm doing this, but not that. And if this could even be like, this could even be dangerous. And before I segue into like the extreme side of this, um, I just want to note that I don't play in ways that are fitting into the stereotypes, which is so dumb. It's so dumb. Everyone, I'm not even gonna get into that. Okay, so myself as an example, which I think is, we're gonna try and take like a scenic route, but not too scenic. I love the like croquette vibe, and the fact that I'm seeing more black women in the croquette, very pink, very cottagecore. Oh, love it. And I'm so happy that I'm seeing more of us in there, because it goes against the stereotype of the angry black aggressive woman. And it's like, croquette is very dainty, very hyper feminine, and I feel very much, I resonate with that style a lot, because I love pink, I love lace, I love glitter, I love all that so much. And really love the fact that there's just more blackness in these spaces that normally weren't. It's not even that we weren't doing them, just our voices were being drowned and watered down, and we weren't seeing other folks that look like us enough for us to feel safe to do the thing, or to be like, actually I like that too. And that's really why I love like blurs, black nerds, right? And like the fact that we're really just showing up and saying, hey, I like all of this stuff too. Like anything, whatever umbrella you want to, whatever things under the umbrella of being a black nerd or a blurred, anime, video games, all the tech stuff, STEAM things, right? Anything that's like techie and nerdy. I just love that we're seeing more of us in these spaces. And it's fortunate but unfortunate that we have to like specifically categorize us into like black nerds, and you can't just be nerds. It has to be black nerd, because again, racism. And really I feel like when we name these things like black X, Y, and Z, it's really a beacon and shining a light saying, hey, other people that do this stuff, we love it too, come join us. And really just like showing that this can be inclusive, and you can find community in these more niche, alternative, unconventional spaces. And I love a many of unconventional spaces. In fact, I love unconventional spaces more than I like conventional spaces, because that's like, it's just more fun. You meet more authentic people this way. You get to really like be your own weird self, without shucking and jiving. Hate that shucking and jiving shit. So really just like, I could just be myself, and we could just nerd out together, and I could do it in a way that feels authentic to me. So shout out to the Blurs. Shout out to the Croquette Girlies. I see you. I love you. Keep doing you. Keep being yourself. Keep being an inspiration for other black folks out there that love that and maybe just don't feel safe or seen enough to lean into it. And for those of you watching who have not found the community, it exists. It may just not be in your backyard, but they exist. So I encourage you to connect with them, because it can be dangerous and sometimes even deadly. And I'll use this one example because I saw it recently and it just like irked me, because I was like, why though? Like, why did it have to get to the point of this happening? And so, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I was reading, and I do not know the names, but I want to provide respect and honoring of the person that was affected by this, and so, condolences all around. But there's a lot, when we think of play, a a style of play that that I want to see us more in and love that we're in and we're shining a light on is imaginative play. And imaginative play also includes cosplay. And and yeah, like dressing up as our favorite anime characters, cartoon characters, video game characters, and showing out at these conventions like Comic Con. And I went into like this short rabbit hole of like racism in there of people saying, oh, you can't dress up as this character because you're black. And I'm like, in my head, the first thing I thought of was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard because this character is not even real. How are you policing a cartoon character who's not actually white? If they had to be anything, they're probably Japanese because it's anime. And so even then, it's like it really actually still doesn't matter because the character is not real. And even if they were real, like, hello, Halloween, hello, like, we dress up as everything. And as long as you're not, like, as long as you keep it classy, like, there should never be a problem. And so, anyways, I just saw a bunch of, like, social media comments about people just like getting so up in arms about black people dressing up as anime characters that aren't real, characters that are fictional and exist in imagination land, and getting mad that black people are dressing up as them. And so there was this one lady who was dressing up, and like her cosplay was like top tier. But unfortunately, she has transitioned at her own hand because of all the bullying that she was faced about her dressing up and being black, which is literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, please go get a life. And so it's just like one example of how if we're playing while black in spaces that are outside of our stereotype, it can be dangerous. And that's why I always emphasize the idea of community, like building community and having people and having us together. Like, the more we go out and do these unconventional things, the more it is so important for us to have support systems that look like us in our realm, to really help provide safety and to really just have our back, honestly, because we can't do nothing without someone having a problem with it. I'm sure there's someone watching my video now that has a problem with me talking about being black. Hello. So I mean, it's really sad that, like, again, our playfulness, how we play is so heavily policed that it can be fatal. And I hate that. I hate that for us so much. And yeah, it's just it's really bad. And so again, this is why I'm so adamant about highlighting blackness and also play. But because time and time again we've been shown that it can be harmful. Why is our joy so triggering? Why is us being happy and literally doing things that make us happy, when that, especially the things that we do aren't harming other people, why is it so triggering? Why does it ruffle so many feathers when we're happy? Like, literally, please make it make sense. And I know that there's like this level of exclusivity and like, oh, we're here and so you can't be up there, but why? Yeah. So, and I say this because as a spiritual girly who loves wellness and like sound baths and yoga and all that fun stuff, even those spaces, right? I think those things are fun. Like, please align my chakras. Love that stuff. It's so, like, I find play in that, which is why I also love talking about spiritual play, because I feel like there's so much playfulness in how we connect with our spiritual side or energetic side, the vibrations and the frequencies of the space around us, right? There can be playfulness in that, and I love that. But often, even in those spaces, there's this like nose up, hmm. And I think that it's just so counterintuitive, because it's like, this is supposed to be a wellness space where we're supposed to like, isn't this like a, what is it, the like, everything's all one, we're all one. Your behavior is the opposite of that, so what are we actually doing? And I've been in numerous woo woo hippie spaces where my blackness was prevalent and I forgot. I was like, oh, I'm just here to hang out and have a great time. And then people start acting all weird. And I'm like, you can fool yourself, but you ain't fooling me. Like, I am not new to this. I'm true to this. And I understand and I'm very aware of when my blackness is triggering other people. I'm not even doing nothing. I'm just hanging out, trying to get the good vibes like everybody else. And they'll start acting weird, and it messes up my time too, because I'm like, wow, well, now we're both, being upset. So it's yeah. Even black joy in those wellness spaces are heavily policed, heavily judged, which is why you don't see us in some of those retreats that are taking place in cool, fun islands. One, it's accessibility, because them shits is expensive. And if we're already fighting for our lives because of, institutional racism here, then, there's only going to be like a certain amount of us that can afford to do that. Not just monetarily, but like, if you have kids, who's going to watch them? Who's going to take your shifts at the job? You know what I mean? But also, like, why am I going to spend my money going to a place where people are just going to judge me like crazy? Knowing that half the stuff they use was colonized anyways. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So, and also, it doesn't matter even if you can afford these things, and the money's not an issue for you. It doesn't matter. You can show up to these Comic-Cons and these, chakra retreats on a golden carriage, being like flown in through magical, mystical Pegasus. It doesn't matter you're black. It doesn't matter, because you're black. And people aren't going to give a shit about anything else but that, unfortunately. And so, yeah. I mean, it's not a cool vibe. I hate it. And so I say this all to say, honor how you play the black community. Honor how you play, no matter how quirky or niche it is, especially if it's outside of your general neighborhood or circle of acquaintances. Honor it. You like it for a reason, and you get to give yourself permission to do the weird stuff because it's important to you. And just because you don't see anyone else doing it doesn't mean that there's none of us out here doing it. So lean into it, celebrate it, and you could be that beacon to call in other people and really create community around it. Because if my examples have not shown enough, we need each other. It literally is the safest option if we create these spaces for each other, because us doing stuff that is outside of the box of stupid ass stereotypes can break the brains of the people who set those stereotypes in the first place. And that can make them violent because people aren't emotionally mature or care to be, so long as they can be comfortable. As long as they're comfortable in their own little world, they're not going to try and grow and be more accepting or create more equitable experiences. So when you enter those spaces, you crack their little peanut brains on what is normal. And now you're this weird little alien. And some people can get really violent with that. And so I want us to all give ourselves permission to be who we want to be in the most authentic way possible. Keep your guard up. Be playful and weird and whimsical as heck. But be safe. Be safe, because you know that when you're in these spaces that are unconventional and weird, someone's gonna have a problem with it. And don't let that person that has a problem with it stop you from doing that, right? One bad situation where someone wants to like be dumb and say some stupid shit at you, don't let that make you hang up your hat and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. This was a bad experience. I'm never going to do this again, and hang up your hat and never do it again. No, 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 no. Don't give them that power, first of all. Don't give anyone that power over your joy. Someone gets upset at you literally doing nothing but following your joy, they're miserable. Don't let them and their miserable lives trickle in and affect you, because then they win. And we want our joy to win. We want our whimsy to win. We want play to win. And anyone that is anti that is miserable. And you don't want like that rotten apple that spoils the bunch. Boink. Bye, rotten apple. I'm going to go over here and still be myself. And there's so much power in not letting that go. So my invitation to you is to lean into that. Think about the things that you found joyful that was maybe a little outside of the norm for what society deems normal for the Black community. Think about those things. Maybe invite them back into your life. Maybe look at communities that resonate most with that. That can help you feel safe enough in your whimsy to start expressing it again, or to express it even more. Yeah. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for playing.